Hey guys, Marslinkin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to talk about the upcoming World Tournament on Global. When this video goes up, it will be 10 PM UK time, so if you're watching it as soon as it goes up, the World Tournament is going to be starting in 8.5 hours. So this will be, what, like 2 PM PST when the video goes up. World Tournament starts at 6:30 AM. I'm probably not going to start it straight away because the last time I did that, shout out to Cuckoo, I ended up with one of the people that finishes literally top 10 in the world in my local bracket. So I do not want that to happen again. So I'm probably going to start a little bit later on into the morning. I'll probably start off by getting like Gohan awakened because obviously I have a bunch of the World Tournament medals, recording a showcase for him, all of that good stuff. And some of you guys will know if you've been out to the streams. I think I mentioned it on the news video earlier. I am going to be doing a World Tournament subathon that will start on Saturday morning, 9 AM UK time, which is like 1 AM PST. I will be going for, potentially, if we hit all the goals, I will be setting the stream cap for the subathon at 24 hours. So potential 24-hour World Tournament stream incoming over the weekend. So hopefully I'll see you guys there and we can grind along together. But we're going to talk about exactly what is coming with this World Tournament. This is the one that was delayed previously due to issues in the game after one of the maintenances, and now we are finally getting back on track. JP has had 4 World Tournaments since Global had their last one, so this gets us 1 closer to catching up, and we'll only be 3 behind. So this is going to be the 46th World Tournament on Global. It was the 48th World Tournament on JP. We're going to get the Awakening for the Int Future Gohan, and then we get the Easy A's for, in terms of the actual World Tournament units, AGL Beerus, Tech GT Vegeta, and STR GT Goku, and then there is also the Tech Demon King Piccolo as well. Unfortunately for the Z, like the DB Saga ones, they don't give you any extra way to get extra copies of them, which is really annoying. So if you don't have Demon King Piccolo, or you still need dupes for him, you just have to pull him from the DB Saga banner, which is a little bit unfortunate, right? Because there's no way around, like, if you just don't have him, then tough, unfortunately. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what these guys do. And we can talk about, you know, whether it's worth grinding up the placements that you're going to need to get these medals. One big thing that I should go into straight away, it'll probably be in the title of the video, but this has been confirmed by Proton on Twitter. Shout out to the boy. He does all the data download, like info dumps and stuff. They removed the missions or something. I think it's something to do with the in-game missions or the parameters or something to do with the ranking, which basically indicates that, much like JP is now with their World Tournaments, this should be the first World Tournament for Global where you can start on the 30 times difficulty straight away. So if you're somebody who just wants to grind like the 30 million points worth of missions, get your like wins in a row and all that stuff, and then just dip, it's going to be a lot easier and faster to do that because you're going to be getting a lot more points all in one go because you can just start off straight away at the times 30 difficulty. So that is definitely very, very good. Because remember, if we take a look at the list of rewards, so this one, in terms of the local rewards, we're still getting the copies of Jackie Chun. We are also still getting the Hercule autographs, which obviously you trade in for either the LR Piccolo Easy A medals, or if you've already Easy A'd him, you can trade those in for the Easy A medals as well. So as you can see here, Tien and Chaozu, we obviously don't have their Easy A on Global yet. So you could save these up, actually, so that then when Tien and Chaozu's Easy A drops, you've got a bunch of these saved up. And even if you don't finish in a high bracket, you can still get them. Or you can use them to buy these ones, right? So you can then do these extra Easy A's depending on your placement, because you need to finish in a certain bracket in order to get these things, right? So for example, I normally try and finish in the top 1000, which you can see here. If you get in the top 1000, you get enough of these medals to do 3 of the Easy A's. To do all 4 of the ones that come out with each World Tournament, you need to finish in the top 10, which is very unachievable for literally everyone in the game except for 10 people. So obviously having these extra ones that you can trade in from here is going to be quite useful if you want to get a bunch of these Easy A's, because even the older ones that have come out in previous World Tournaments, there are 1 or 2 that I haven't done. I've essentially had to prioritize like only doing the ones that I thought would be good or like worth doing showcases for, because some of the rest of them are of course quite bad. So That's something you need to remember. Now, when we look at the EZAs that we're getting for this time, actually, we'll start off with Future Gohan. So Future Gohan, you're going to be able to awaken him straight away when the World Tournament starts, if you have those Masters Mark medals. They drop tons of them every World Tournament now, so if you've been playing it for a little while, you should probably have these already. So once he awakens, he raises attack, and then raises defense for 1 turn. The attack raise is actually an infinite stack. And then the defense raises for 1 turn, does supreme damage, gets attack and defense 120, additional attack and defense 100% when performing a super, key 2, and an additional attack and defense 80%, and a high chance to stun the enemy when there is an android enemy. Then he gets defense 30% when performing a super, as well as an additional 2 key and a medium chance to crit if there is a future Saga ally whose name includes Trunks on the team. So this is a very easy restriction, especially when you think that he's obviously not only on teams like Hybrid Saiyans, Future, Android/Cell Saga, obviously Super Saiyans, which just got the new 200% lead. It's going to be very easy to make a team that has a Trunks on it, right? It's almost unlikely you're not going to have a Trunks on the team. And he does have links like All in the Family, which is good. Golden Warrior, Prepared for Battle, Experienced Fighters, Dismal Future. He has a shattering the unit limit, unfortunately. Shattering the limit unit, unfortunately. But just from looking at his passive, like, he seems relatively good. Like, you get a turn where he gets off an additional super. He's going to have, you know, relatively decent defense, especially if you have a Trunks on the team. He's obviously going to be much better if you're fighting an android, which we don't have super relevant difficult content for at the moment. There is, of course, the future androids and the Cell stages of the Dismal Future Red Zone. It'd be interesting to see what stages the new movie bosses Red Zone has that's coming out on JP, because, of course, we will get that eventually as well. And so that could be, if there's an androids one, then it could be quite useful for that. So I'm looking forward to checking him out. Like I said, I'll awaken him straight away and we'll get a showcase out at some point during the day tomorrow anyway. But if we take a look at the EZAs, we've got AGL Beerus. I only checked out what he did for the first time today because I realized that I'd not actually finished the hidden potential for mine. I had all of his paths open in SA10, but I hadn't actually rainbowed him because I remember I was waiting to see what his EZA did before I decided to do it, and I then just never got around to it when the details came out on JP. But he actually seems like he could be pretty decent. His leader skill's not great, of course, but he raises defense for 1 turn on super. He gets attack and defense 120 as well as 120 when performing a super. He gets an additional 60% starting from the turn in which he receives the second attack in battle, so it doesn't take long to get that. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super starting from the turn in which he receives 4 attacks, and then he guards when all allies in the same turn are exploding rage. So it'll be interesting to see. When I showcase him, I will, of course, try to make the best possible team that I can with the Exploding Rage allies for him. Because obviously you want a Link partner and then all the floaters to be Exploding Rage. You can run a non-Exploding Rage unit or 2 if they're going to be on the other rotation, because it's just for the same turn. But that makes it seem like he could be pretty decent. Like post-super, especially if he's received his 4 attacks, he could do another super and then the hidden potential, a couple of defense raises, and then he has guard. That definitely seems like he could be quite interesting, because some of these World Tournament EZAs, they immediately strike you as not being particularly good, but this guy seems like he could actually be relatively decent, so looking forward to checking him out in game. Then we have the Tech GT Super Saiyan Vegeta. He raises attack for 1 turn, supreme damage, and raises defense by 30% for 6 turns. So you can get a couple of stacks on this, which is pretty good. He has attack and defense 120, then another 60 when performing a super. Guards all attacks from 1 turn from the start of the turn. It's kind of random, so he just has guard on the first turn. Then he gets additional 80% defense and high chance to guard if he's the first attacker in the turn. Then he gets 40% attack as the second or third attacker in the turn. Additional 80% attack, medium chance to crit if there is a Shadow Dragon Saga ally attacking in the same turn. Oh, thank God. I almost laughed then because I thought it was going to say Shadow Dragon Saga enemy. But actually, having a Shadow Dragon Saga category ally, pretty easy to do on the GT based team, right? So that gives him 80% extra attack and built-in crit chance. So you want to give him additional and dodge, I guess, in the hidden potential. Get these extra supers for the extra defense buffs. Guard for the first turn, I guess, is nice, but after the first turn, that's kind of it. And then if he has a chance to guard as the first attacker, you've obviously got to worry about the attacks that come in before he attacks, because he's going to have carryover defense from the previous turn, so he could be okay, but you're then, you know, risking that coin flip of whether he's actually going to guard. So he seems like he could be interesting. Look forward to trying him out as well. And then there's the GT Super Saiyan Goku. He raises defense for 1 turn. His super attack effect also gives all allies 30% attack for 1 turn. Attack and defense 150, additional attack and defense 100% for 5 turns from the start of the turn, then an extra 50 when performing a super, medium chance to dodge, 3 key and a chance to dodge plus 30% when there's another space traveling warrior ally in the same turn. So that's pretty good, right? That adds up to him having a 60% chance to dodge, as well as with the links he does have, he's pretty much going to auto super, especially if you have a GT ally, right? Additional attack 20 up to 80 and chance to crit 10 up to 40 with each attack evaded. So yeah, this guy, I feel like you just go full dodge, right? And then give him a little bit of additional, and then he could actually be quite good. So he's quite interesting as well. It's actually a relatively interesting batch of Easy A's, because like I say, some of the older ones, you see them and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, these are kind of mid. But these all seem like they could be interesting. I'm not talking like, you know, oh wow, these are the new best like free-to-play units, but they seem like they could be quite interesting, which is good for a free-to-play, like a World Tournament EZA, you know. And then we have Tech Demon King Piccolo. Greatly raise attack for 1 turn, supreme damage, medium chance to stun. He gives extreme class allies 3 key and attack and defense 30%. He gets 10% for all allies and a medium chance to guard all attacks when all allies in the turn are extreme class. So that's pretty good. 40% support and then a medium chance to guard. Medium is, you know, it's only 30%, so it's not great. Attack and defense 40% per extreme class ally on the team. Additional defense 100%, and for 2 turns, attacked enemies attack minus 20% when performing a super. So his actual stats are kind of like all reliant on the extreme class allies. Then he gets a bunch of extra defense on super. So it'd be interesting to see how his numbers work out, because unfortunately for a unit like him with the potential link partners, like he's not got a ton of really great team options, and he is a unit that is, as we've already said, very limited, right? Like if you don't have him right now, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually get copies of him. So be interesting to see what he's doing. I think mine is rainbow, or maybe 90%. So I should at least be able to do a relatively decent showcase for him once the Easy A's come out. I think I have some of the medals spare from last time, but we'll have to see, because obviously I might have to wait for the actual World Tournament rewards to come in before I can do all of these. I might have enough for 1. I'll have to check. So those are the Easy A's. I would definitely, you know, most people not even necessarily going to have this guy, but even if you do have them all rainbowed, I wouldn't worry about this guy too much. Beerus, as good as he seems to be, like we got like the Dokkan Fest Beerus, who's considerably better. I guess the Int Beerus, I mean, he can be okay. But this guy seems cool. But I mean, like if you could only do 1 or 2, I'd probably prioritize these 2. I mean, GT Vegeta can work on like a Super Saiyan's team and stuff like that, as long as you have a Shadow Dragon Saga ally for him to get his full buffs. The Goku could obviously work with the Space Traveling Warriors. I feel like if you could only do 1, the Goku is probably the better one. But he seems like he could be quite interesting. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you going to be going in on the World Tournament here? Remember, as I say, you need a lot of a very ridiculously high placement in order to get enough medals to do all 4 Easy A's. But in order to just do the 3, I think, can you finish? Yeah, you have to finish in the top 2,000. So if you want to get enough medals to do the 3 Easy A's for the non-DB saga, right, Beerus, Vegeta, and Goku, you have to finish in the top 2,000. Otherwise, to get enough to do 2, I think it's, is it 100,000? Yeah, top 100,000 will give you enough to do 2, which is pretty good. And then when we go to like the missions and stuff, getting the 30 million points obviously gives you some Kais. It gives you extra copies of the LR Piccolo, as well as, you know, the extra Hercule statues and some tickets and stuff like that. Wins in a row. If you get up to 20, you get an extra copy of the Vegeta. There's a Goku for the 15, and then a Beerus for the 10. And then I think it's, is it just wins in general as well? So yeah, wins and wins in a row. So as long as you're getting them in a row, you'll get both. So you can always get a couple of copies of these guys, even if you don't have them, which then is really useful if you do have them, because then you can go ahead and if any of these easy A's mean that maybe your hidden potential for builds for them are not quite what you would want them to be, you can use these extra copies that you're going to get to fix them, and you get these as soon as you beat these missions, right? So you don't need to wait for all the World Tournament rewards in order to get all of these. So that's really good. So let me know what you guys think down below. Are you going to be going in for this World Tournament? Are you going to be getting the missions done and then dip? Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, I hope to see you guys all at the big subathon stream. I might do a short stream of it at some point, although I suppose tomorrow we do have the podcast. So the big subathon will probably be the only time I actually stream the World Tournament. But then to be fair, like I said, if we hit all the goals, it's going to be a 24-hour stream. We also will have, we've been talking about it on the streams and stuff before. You guys know if you've been out to my streams, my sister is often in the streams. She's going to pop by at some point and take over the stream for an hour or two so I can have a quick like lie down or whatever. And she has never played Dokkan before. So if we hit enough of the goals, I think when we get 11 hours in, because that's when it will be about 8 p.m. UK time, she's going to pop by and essentially we're going to have ourselves a little segment that is basically along the lines of chat teaches Sister Ningen how to play Dokkan, how to play the World Tournament. So that should be fun, and hopefully I will see you guys at the stream. So yeah, let me know everything, all thoughts, World Tournament down below. We really need to catch up because the sync is happening eventually, and we're still 3 World Tournaments behind. I know it's not really anyone's favourite game mode. Some people do like it more than others, but it would be nice if we catch up a little bit. You do get a decent amount of stones from it as well, because even somebody like me, if I grind for like a good placement, because I have so much stamina, even if I spend like a few stones a day refreshing my stamina, I usually end up at the end of a World Tournament with more stones than I started with. So obviously it does still work out quite nicely overall. So yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. Like I say, sound off in the comments all your thoughts about the World Tournament. Let me know what your guys' plan is going to be. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.